when I thought there's enough hypercars here, more have to pull up. Guys, it's Saturday before car week. We're at Period Correct. I've never been to the show before, but it looks pretty good from here, but the other side gets even better. There's some wild cars here. Let's go walk through it. So let's walk through. There's a ton of people here. There's also a ton of cars. Kind of get better as you go along. There's some hypercars here, like Euro cars, JDM cars. There's absolutely everything. Let me show you some of the highlights, at least my highlights. So 718 Spider rolling through with BBS wheels. But here we have an E36 Alpina B3 next to this 997 Turbo. I really like this with the BBSs, the red interior. Only thing is PDK, I would probably do the manual, but 996 GT3 and a GT4. And unfortunately, I don't have my GT4 here this year, but there's one here and another one right there. But next to the GT4s is something a lot more special. So there's a Gumpert Apollo. I believe there's maybe two of these in the US. We saw one of these in Italy at Villa d'Este a few months ago. This is the first time I've ever seen one on US soil, and of course the kind of more iconic orange color. This is the color this car is kind of known for. Now it's getting a little hectic here, but we have a 91 Diablo in white, and Revuelto over there, you can clearly hear it is leaving, but over here, even in the side lot, there's something special. So we're not even on the main road. In one of the side parking lots, we have a 911 ST. So here we have a full carbon Senna. Now we reviewed a Senna on the channel a few months ago, probably in the fall, and I absolutely loved it and thought it was the most exciting car ever, but the only thing that makes a Senna seem pretty boring is when there's a Senna GTR directly in front of it. Now, let's just catch this 918 leaving as well. White with the white interior.
Absolutely.
Okay, so guys, now we are at a small Ferrari show, but there's some pretty cool special edition cars here. Let me show you what's in front of me. So starting off with the Pista Spider, the convertible version of the Pista. Now I think these things are going to go up in value like crazy because the car next to it right here, the Speciale Aperta, these things are reaching like $2 million. So I think it's only natural this thing is going to catch up. Then also a Speciale Coupe. Then this blue on the 296 actually really cool. Normally not a big fan of the 296, but the color is really nice. Pretty nice 360 as well with the bucket seats like the Challenge Stradale. Actually, yeah, same bucket seat as the Challenge Stradale, I think. And then beside that, another piece of Spider. But then the newest kind of limited edition car, the SF90XX. Now the SF90 values aren't doing too well, but surprisingly the XXs are like double MSRP, I'm pretty sure, in resale value. And whereas this is the coupe, we also have the Aperta or the Spider right here. SVJ, but we got a Mercy straight out of Midnight Club LA. Oh my God, we have a GT4. Oh my God, we got a GT4. Now, there's one very important question about this Mercy. Let's look inside and find out. Oh, yes, it is. We got a manual Murcielago right here. Okay, so there's a Ford GT here. We, less than a month ago, did a full review on a Ford GT. I had it for about 2 days. I fell in love with the car. But something like this is pretty interesting. I don't know how heavily modified this car is, but obviously with the color, you can tell. Also, I believe this is a Tech Art kit on a 911 Turbo. But with a car like this, you know, HRV wheels, a lot of people, yeah. I do not think that's a stock supercharger at all. So this car is probably pushing some serious power. Don't really know what's done to it, but these things are monsters. Guys, we are at the PFS show now. This is usually the show that has the best cars for any pre-car week show. And this year's no different. There's some cars here that are worth well north of $10 million. Some of the world's rarest cars. We're going to walk through them and see. There's also a bunch of kind of modified supercars, but there's pretty much everything you can think of. Okay, so of course, we're going to start off strong as you can possibly get. We have a Zonda Cinque, one of 5, one of 2 colored coupes. The rest are white. Next to that is the white on white 918 that we saw earlier in the day, but Zonda Cinque makes a 918 look like a Boxster. So we're not really going to pay too much attention to that because this is just one of the greatest cars you could possibly see. But looking at this 918, I do got to give a shout out to the interior of this car because white on red, I don't think I've ever seen another two-tone 918 interior like this. And the white on red with the white exterior is absolutely amazing. And I like that it's not a Weissach car because the carbon doesn't really break it up. And we got a Senna GTR that we saw this morning. Oh, okay, some serious cars are coming in right now. We have a Chiron Porsche Sport. And the world record car, Koenigsegg Agera RS. So this is the car that actually broke the speed record, 273 miles an hour several years ago around Nevada. And then Koenigsegg Regera, white with blue carbon fiber and blue carbon fiber wheels. And behind that, you would recognize the car from a few videos ago. That is Shmi 150's Aston Martin GT8. Let's see how he does, because he has a lot of issues with that lip. Try not to embarrass all the hypercars with the GT8, you know.
I know, right?
Just don't tell them you're the only one here, you know.
I was gonna say Koenigsegg, everyone's got one.
Yeah, it's not that rare.
I say that, but Jesko, there's probably one. Regera, there's probably one.
Yeah,
Regera
but in the
RS,
next week, everybody's gonna see 10 more of each.
And I can tell you, no one here is seeing another GT8 in the next week.
That is true. And then the Jesko Absolute. If you notice though, this car is right-hand drive. It is from the UK, full blue carbon fiber, which is Zach's garage. This is I think potentially the first customer Absolute I've seen, so no spoiler on this car. But right-hand drive Koenigsegg in the US is a move. We got two right-hand drive cars in a row, the GT8 and then the Jesko. Blue interior, blue carbon, blue wheels. And then Ferrari 812 and a Bugatti Chiron Porsche Sport. So Chiron Porsche Sport, and I think the next three cars are not going to have too much of a problem with the incline to get into this driveway. And yeah, these guys definitely don't need to go in an angle to get up this driveway. But just when you think it's over because the big SUVs are here, it's not. I see a Huayra Roadster behind them and a CGT. But we got one 6x6, two 6x6, and three 6x6s in a row. And number 3 right here. But as you can see, this is one of the craziest meets where the whole lineup is just hypercars. You turn around and you're just 6x6s, the Brabus one, the non-Brabus one, and then the matte black one as well. But even here, you know, the cars we're not really paying attention to are like a 765 LT, Revo Alto, 600 LT, SF90. These are the cars that kind of like have no crowd around them because everybody's around the hypercars. And behind these cars are still Huayra, CGT. It's crazy. This is absolutely wild. Yeah, purple CGT, Huayra, it's crazy. Now, what I would say for people that have not watched the Car Week vlogs before or haven't been to Car Week, make sure to stay tuned and subscribe because the video is going to get crazier than this. The cars are going to get crazier than this. So I'm going to give you a little example. Like this Huayra right here, crazy spec Huayra Roadster, but by the Thursday of Car Week, I think on my second or third Car Week, I was on the phone with this car, drove by us. I didn't even bother getting off the phone to take a picture. Not saying anything bad about the Huayra, but it's just like at Car Week, it's just this all day long around the whole city. So if you guys haven't watched the vlogs before, make sure to subscribe because it's gonna get crazy next week. So we just went inside and I'm looking around. There's, as you can see, a ton of cars, but this one right here from far looks like your regular kind of orange Senna that you see, but once you get up close, this is blue carbon fiber. Usually when you see two-tone Sennas, it's just regular carbon fiber. Even if you remember in the fall, we reviewed a red Senna that was kind of similar paint scheme, just red here and carbon here, but it was regular carbon. Seeing a full blue carbon, every single piece that is not orange is blue carbon fiber on this car. It is absolutely wild. And across from that is a purple Apollo IE. This is probably the craziest looking car being made today. Like, you know, V12, I'm pretty sure, like natural gas, these things sound crazy. And this one actually gets driven. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it driving at Car Week, but this thing, I can't believe it's a real car. If you think the front end is crazy, just look at the back end of this car. It almost does not seem real. Then across from that is something that's definitely more my type of car. It's a Diablo 91. I think we saw it this morning at the meet. I'm more a fan of the later Diablos, but I would still love an early Diablo. And then this matte black 918 Weissach, you can tell by the magnesium wheels and the carbon fiber around the windshield. If you ever are not sure if a 918 is Weissach or not, maybe it has different wheels, the best way to tell is when you go up here, the pillar right here is going to be carbon fiber on a Weissach car, and it's going to be paint on a regular car. And yet another Carrera GT. This one is black on black. Black Carrera GTs are pretty rare. Not as rare as painted sample cars, but definitely more rare than silver ones. Next to that is this Carbon Series new Ford GT. We have a lot of experience on the channel with Ford GTs, whether it's Carbon Series or whether it is the regular ones. Now, I believe these rims are actually the same ones that Shmi 150 has on his car. The carbon wheels are cool, but the problem is if you actually want to drive the car, you might hit a pothole or something, and the price to replace these carbon fiber wheels is unbelievably expensive. And then there's the Pininfarina Battista. Definitely not my type of car. I am not a big fan of the electric hypercars. I think it kind of takes the magic, takes the fun, and the just real personality out of the car. It is unbelievably fast. If you want to beat something, this will beat any hypercar, but it's just not really for me. So we saw this car earlier today driving, going the other way in traffic, and I didn't get a picture, and I was pretty upset because this is one of the coolest pieces I've ever seen. First of all, it's a piece of Spider, rare enough as it is, super expensive, super valuable, and honestly just a great car. But the black with these wheels, but what really stands out, especially when you drive and you see it in the sunlight, is this blue interior. I've never seen another piece with an interior like this. And another new Ford GT. Again, I love these cars. The thing about these cars is they are literally cars that were made to be pretty much race cars first and road cars later, and you really feel when driving, even though on paper this thing is similar performance like a 675 LT, which is worth significantly less. I have not felt many cars that feel as much like a race car as this. This gives you the same type of fun as a LaFerrari or anything like that. It's not really like a Huracan or a McLaren type driving experience. This is something truly unique. But yeah, look at this lineup. It's crazy. Just every car is better than the next. Senna GTR, Chiron Pure Sport, the world record Koenigsegg Agera RS, and then there's a Regera, and then there's a right-hand drive Jesko. I mean, how can it get better than another Bugatti? But right-hand drive Jesko, I didn't even know they made right-hand drive Koenigsegg's, and it's here in the US. Look at this one. I don't know if, yeah, seats covered, but it's one seat is black, one seat's red, I'm pretty sure. SVJ Roadster. This STO we actually saw earlier today. I didn't film it, but I actually think it's one of the best looking STOs I've ever seen because, again, carbon is cool, but I'm a big fan of paint, and this car has a painted lip, painted side, painted everything. I've never seen an STO with so much paint. I actually really, really like this one. I think more people should kind of focus on paint because everybody does carbon. I mean, half these cars are carbon. Paint is cool. But yeah, look, there's like nothing, like nobody's here almost compared to back there, but there's just another Carrera GT. There's three here. Nobody's even looking at this one. And again, SVJ Roadster. This Map Blue SV looks so good. I like the blue on red combination. You keep walking, there's the Ford GT we saw earlier, another SVJ Roadster, Scuderia right there. I mean, let's keep walking. Look, there's like nobody around, but there's a 765 with a roof scoop. Something flying by. It's the STO we just saw. But Scuderia 675 LT, I think, is such an underrated car. I would take this over this all day long. I think this is a better look, more clean, not overdone. And that's before everybody started getting the track version of every supercar just because it's cool. Back then, people actually got them because they wanted the performance. Something a little bit nicer, but then come on. Murcielago Roadster, even though it's a first gen, it is still one of the coolest cars out there. It is an E-Gear, so in 05 when this car came out, that's also when they launched the E-Gear for this car. So most of them are E-Gear. It's very, very, very hard to find a manual Roadster. And look, we're at a car show. There's nobody here. Literally, I am the only person around, and there's a new Ford GT, carbon wheels. Like, it just tells you how crazy the show is when a Ford GT just has nobody around it. So some cars are rolling out. We got this Chiron coming out right now. And then the 6x6 right behind it. And the other one. And yet the other one. And the CGT. Oh, that's not even a Scuderia. Sorry. I gave you wrong information the whole time. I didn't look at the back. And another car I probably wasn't paying attention to, and I think I said it was an SVJ, but I believe this is an Aventador S with an SVJ front end. Huracan. SVJ gonna do SVJ things? Let's find out. The answer is yes. Okay. At one point, the actual fastest car in the world. Let's see. Is it gonna do anything? Nope. Maybe over there. Got the Regera. Ooh, that was a rough scrape. So guys, there's still a lot of cars to pull out, but even after that, stay tuned for the video. We still, even though it's evening time, we have a lot more stuff we're gonna do today. The front is not done now. We're gonna check out some crazy car play, shoot with some crazy cars. It's gonna be a pretty fun night. So like I told you guys, we're about to check out one of the craziest hypercar warehouses I've ever seen. And it starts off like this. We're not even inside yet. He's about to start that up. You got to hear it. Not bad. So he's going to move this inside. There's a few cars outside, as you can see, but there's a ton of cars inside. And they're all mega cars. They're all just wild stuff that you don't see anywhere else. Let's let him move this car in. They just had this at the show. Fully road legal Senna GTR. So we have the Chiron Porsche Sport that was at the show, the full carbon fiber body on this car. This is like comfort and track put into one. And then next to that is a Storado, but let's go take a look at the Jesko Absolute. So this is the Jesko that is meant for high speed. So there's no big spoiler on it. This is a top speed car with the top speed wheels that have the blue carbon to match the body with the same gold accent. And it is right-hand drive, shipped here from the UK for Monterey Car Week. He's gonna be driving it around the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And also over there is a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster. And I'm not sure if this is real or not, but there's a chance it's real diamonds. Correct me if I'm wrong, I have no idea. Okay, so walking in, we have so many more cars. There's a 458 Spider, and let me walk you through the rest of the cars in here. So starting off, we saw this 918 at the meet we were just at. The white with the white and red interior looks so freaking good. But next to that is one of my favorite cars, definitely one of my favorite Koenigsegg's, the Koenigsegg CCX. Full carbon body on this car, carbon wheels as well. These are more the old school Koenigsegg's, a little more simple, more my type of Koenigsegg. Then something that's more kind of like a daily driver, the McLaren 750S. But next to that is a Pagani Huayra BC. Now this might be one of the most custom Pagani Huayra BCs out there. It has a different wing, I think, than most BCs. These are pretty much straight out of the Pagani Zonda Cinque, the roof scoop as well, the blue carbon fiber body, the gold wheels. This is an unbelievable spec. And the interior is just as special. So the plaid here is used pretty much straight out of a 300 SLR, which is one of the most iconic cars ever made. There's sparkle in the carbon right here. The interior of any Pagani is special, but this one especially is even cooler. I've never seen the shifter like this in blue. Honestly, this is one of the most special Paganis I have ever seen. And this McLaren Senna here is full carbon body with these yellow accents. Again, I am a big paint guy, but sometimes carbon does well in a spec, does look good, and this is a good example of that. And another Senna, we saw this outside, we saw this at the show, the Senna GTR, road legal, however. This is, if you thought a Senna somehow was not aggressive enough, this solves all your issues. But next to that is the regular Senna, but this It's such a cool spec. I'm a big fan of paint, and this one has a lot of it. This light blue with the orange accents that kind of fade as the car goes, and the brown here, honestly, contrasts the color so well, especially with these chrome looking wheels. That honestly, I really used to not be a Senna guy, but after I had one for a day, I fell in love with the cars. I'm not a big McLaren guy, but this car is for me. And another car I got to spend a lot of time with is the 0605 Ford GT. Very recently, we had one for 2 days, and I fell in love with it as well. The red looks so good. I think for me, the yellow cars are really cool. It's very hard to see them. Most of them are red, gray, blue. But I love this car so much. After driving it quite a bit, I respect these cars so much more. And over here, this is pretty cool for me because I'm kind of reunited with the first Pagani Huayra BC I have ever seen. So this was originally the press car. This car came to Toronto in 2015 or 2016. Back then, I rarely ever saw Paganis. I didn't go do trips. I didn't go around the world. So whatever they would bring to Toronto is what I would see. And this BC came to Toronto, and I drove right away to go see it. Next has another BC. This one is a Tempesta package BC. So if you notice, different wheels. The spoiler is different, but even the intakes here. So yes, this one doesn't have a roof scoop at all. That one has a regular roof scoop, but this one has the regular roof scoop on top of these two on the side. So I don't know if there's any other ones with this one, but this is even more aggressive than that. The full carbon body with the blue accents, almost like the opposite of that. That is mostly blue carbon with a little bit of regular. This is full just black carbon with a little bit of gray as well, but the blue accents make this car pop out so much. And last but not least, we saw this car earlier today, but again, we never see these cars. I think we saw one in Italy, a white one, about 2 months ago, and 2 years before that we saw another one through a window in a showroom in Germany. But on US soil, to have a car like this is unbelievably rare and unbelievably special. These cars are not too expensive yet, but I do think they're going to go up to the 7-figure mark, because I think the only thing is people forgot they exist. These cars were very well known for a little bit when Top Gear talked about them quite a lot, but after that, I feel like most collectors don't even think about them. But look at this car. It's more aggressive than any Ferrari or Lambo in this price range. It is more special, and this thing's going to turn more heads than almost anything else. But what a cool car. I heard these things are monsters on the track. Look at the interior, the fixed seats. I think this is a sequential transmission. The steering wheel literally comes off. This is an absolute race car for the road. Okay, so now we are in another room that has very different types of cars, as you can see right here. I'm going to walk you through them because 3 cars here have a very cool story. Okay, so starting off, we have a Scuderia here, very cool car, but beside that is a McLaren MSO X. What this car is, I just kind of told the story, is when the 570 came out, people really liked it, but they really wanted more power because the 650S had a lot of power, but it didn't drive as nice as the 570s. So a few of the VIP customers really wanted a 570 with kind of similar power to the 650, and McLaren did that, and they built 10 MSO X's. Now, all 10 of them, I believe, were delivered around here, and I can show you that by the fact that there's one here, another one right here, and the orange one right there. But what this pretty much is a McLaren 620R before the McLaren 620R came out, because the reason the 620R came out is because a lot of other VIP customers saw these cars. They're like, you know what, this is pretty much exactly what we wanted out of our 570s, but McLaren didn't make more than 10, and there's obviously more than 10 VIP customers. So they pretty much took this, built the 620R, maybe made a little bit of changes, but then they offered it to a lot more customers because it was kind of exactly what people were looking for. But out of the 10, there's one here, and another one right there, along with a Revuelto right here, a 992 GT3 RS, and also an STO. And before we leave the room, I know there's a lot of muscle cars here. I don't know much about them, but apparently they came from New Zealand. They're all right-hand drive, but also AMG Black Series. And a lot of people love these. This is competitor to the STO, competitor to the 765 LT. It's kind of one of the major track cars nowadays. And of course, we got one here. I heard something else rolling in, maybe multiple cars. Yeah, I think we know what these are. The Regera as well. And the Huayra behind that. And the carbon Huayra as well. I mean, just when I thought there's enough hypercars here, more have to pull up.